Well, welcome back. So let's touch base, as I say, with Cecilia Omorogbe, who's covering the WAFCON competition, the Super Falcons. They finish work, as they say in Pidgin. Cecilia, good morning.
Good morning, Kaya. It's great to join you again.
It's good to have you, Cecilia. Our girls doing us proud. You know, they went from being heavy on the field to people doubting them, and then it just hit Zambia 5-0. You know, it was excitement all the way. 5-0. Cecilia, we were predicting 2-1, you know, a tough match. But 5-0. What happened? How did that? Speak to us about it.
Yeah, we're also surprised by that scoreline. When Oshoala scored within 2 minutes when the game started, we knew that something else was going to happen on that day. You know, when I was talking about the game on Friday, I wasn't 100% sure we could win. But like, I think I said 85% or something like that. But the confidence the girls had, you know, when they entered the stadium, and then I saw the way they were looking, I knew something different was going to happen. But I didn't expect that we were going to beat Zambia 5-0. You know, because that was something unexpected. But back to what it is, Rashida Ajibade said something at the press when I posed some questions to her. What did you tell the girls, you know, before they went into the field? She said something about them knowing that when they are pushed to the wall, that's when they bounce back. And not just that, when people underrate them, that's when they put in their best. People just felt, oh, that's the end of the road for Super Falcons. But they have to tell themselves, look, they're here to make history. They're here to ensure that what the likes of Messi Akide and those other stars have done in the past, they wouldn't want to dent that record. 27-year history of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Nigeria has never left so early at that stage. So they wouldn't want to have that unwanted record. So they have to tell themselves what they needed to do. And when I saw the lineup was something that took everybody off, because you're looking at a lineup that you're like, why are you starting Jamilisu for Lashade, someone who has had like 20 minutes all through the group. They had, I think, less than 20 minutes of the game. He trusted her to start. And you look at the full lineup, the changes that were made, and these players came to the party. I think that also threw the Zambians off. Looking at Barbara Banda and Rachel were thinking I'm Grace because they all play in NWSL right in the US, thinking Asisa was going to be one of those that will start. But they didn't see Aziza on the field of play until close to the 70th or 80th minute when she came on as a sub. And then we saw the walk-ins she did in the little time she was on the field. So that alone threw them up. We've seen the coach actually using different tactics and different formation whenever he's facing an opponent. It says something about him him playing according to what the opponent dictates. You're going to look at what the opponent is bringing at you. That's how you're going to know how to approach every game. So for him, every game is different. We saw what happened in the game between Tunisia and Nigeria against Botswana. We saw what happened. Against Algeria also, something else happened. He made like 9 changes or thereabout. And then against Zambia, we saw something different entirely. So when you have a coach that is not predictable, it's actually hard to beat that team. I think he set up the team high and press forward, and then when you get the opportunity, you just get the goals. And these players, every one of them on the field on Friday actually came to the party.
So, Cecilia, thrilling performance. Perhaps we should be praying that they should be underestimated more often so that we can we can get more of these results.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the coach's approach to put Asisat Oshoala and what's the name of the other player now on the bench and replace them with Chiwendu Ihezuo and Esther Okoronko. Of course, this paid off, but are there concerns over particularly Asisat's performance? Of course, former captain with an incredible record, whether it's playing for the national team or for her international gigs.
No, there are really no concerns because, as I mentioned earlier, you know, we know the coach understands that the Zambia team, the firepower, the 3 players I mentioned, Grace, Rachel, and Barbara, they understand Asisat game. They play together. She's even Rachel and Asisat playing the AFC together, so they understand each other. So for you to throw them off, you need to give them something they don't expect. If you saw when Asisat came in, players were on her. Just twice that she was able to, you know, outrun her opponent trying to score, and she missed 2 chances. So that tells you that if Asisat was there from the very beginning, I mean, focus will be on her. There might even be an injury in the sense that, we saw what they were doing, kicking the girls. Jennifer complained when I was talking to her at the mid zone, because she's literally limped out when she was substituted. She says that one of the players actually, matched her toe. So that physicality was there. So the coach understood that if Asisat starts this game, all eyes will definitely be on her. And that may not work well for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, may not work well for the team. There's no concern about her performance. But she came on, a few minutes, she came on like 80th minutes or 7-something minutes. I need to find out how many minutes she came on. But she came on much, much later in the game when Nigeria were already, I think, 3 goals up. That's when she came, into the field. She went to his way. She came out as a sub in the first game, the second game, and she started the third game. She has scored 3 goals so far. So that really is not a worry, because we know that she can score goals. She's also a striker like her sister Oshoala. There's nothing as good as you having so many options. She has given so much for the national team. I mean, 6 times African Player of the Year. I mean, you saw her at Barcelona, 83 goals in 89 games, also when she was at Barcelona. So this is a player I've done so much for. She has won 4 African Women's Championships. So she's done so much. So you now have other players coming through the ranks from the under 17, under 20 level, building up. So she's one of the experienced players on the field. And her presence alone is something. When you're talking about Nigeria, you talk about Sister Oshoala, and you know that leadership, that command, that experience is there. And when you have that, I think that's what she brings into the team. And the fact that if you check the last goal that was scored by Jamilisu, she was right there. She allowed the ball to move, and Jamilisu was right there, and she tucked it in. So she could have decided to go for that ball, because when the cross was coming, she was just in the mix inside the 18-yard box. But I think what she's bringing into the team happens to be that leadership, that experience, and the fact that she's more like, if you're on her, you know that other players will be there to step up. If you check what happened in 2022 when she got injured in her very first game, all throughout the tournament, that fear factor wasn't there anymore. But just having her in the team alone, that leadership quality is something you can really take away from Asisat Oshoala.
They now have South Africa to face. I want to just listen to what Plumter said about wanting to meet South Africa. And voila, we have to meet South Africa at the semi-finals. So let's take a listen to Ashley Plumter on this.
Just like a privilege to represent this group and the fans who love the Super Falcons so much. Yeah, whoever comes. I think I did say, like, I played South Africa before and I lost against them, so it'd be nice to play them again. And I have a couple of friends that are South African or support South Africa, so it'd be nice to play in that sense.
And we're going to meet South Africa. Last time we had the competitive match together, they won. The one before that, we won. Cecilia, help us out with a prediction. Who's winning the South Africa match?
South Africans, yes, we've had 7 different scorers so far. And Nigerians will have like 6 different scorers. Chiwendu scoring 3, and you have 5 other players scoring. That tells you that maybe when it comes to scoring, you really can't predict who's going to come on and fire a team to victory. But the goalkeeper is someone we actually need to watch it for. I mean, she's made like up to 13 saves so far in this tournament, and then keeping clean sheets. And not just that, what they did against Senegal, we saw that Senegal, tried their best to see how they can take them out. But it didn't happen. They went to penalties. And of course, Yamini happens to be a player, a goalkeeper that, she knows how to actually handle her when she's within the six, within the post. She knows how to actually handle every ball that comes to her. I think that's something we actually need to be careful of. But another thing is, we saw South Africa build up to the tournament. Yeah, they had a fantastic build up. At first, they had issues with non-payment of salaries, but they sorted that out, and now they are really in the tournament. But I think South Africa really poses a threat. As you said earlier, 2018, it wasn't the final when South Africa met, and Nigeria, that was the last time won the title, and South Africa won the very last edition. They're defending champions, Nigeria 9-time champions. When it comes to pedigree, you really can't compare, because Nigeria kind of own WAFCON. Out of 13, they won 9. That tells you a lot. And most times, The last time was they finished fourth, and of course Nigerians, came for their head. But this time around, we've seen the progression they've made. Yeah.
So Mission X is still possible, Cecilia. We want to thank you.
Yes, it's still very possible.
We have to thank you so much for always pulling you out to speak to us. Wish you, all of us, the very best. Our correspondent and sports anchor, Cecilia Omorogbe, speaking to us live from Omorogbe. Thank you.
Thank you.